you down-tuney people. Maybe not. Maybe you like synthy stuff. Or maybe you're just too lazy to retune your guitar. In which case, the Digitech Hammer-On is your friend. Now, Digitech, I'm saying this wrong. They underwent changes in recent years, but the people designing have not changed drastically. And they're now in the good hands of... What's with my English? They're now in the good hands of Digitech, who make chord guitars and so much more. They took on Digitech and they're doing it right. So Digitech had the drop. Simple pedal. You want to go lower, hit it, done. Set the pitch, hit it, done, hit it again, your guitars, normal tune again. Very simple pedal, super effective. Does, I think, what it does best on the market. Also due to its simplicity. They also have the Ricochet, which is kind of a whammy in a pedal form, and you set where you want to go, what pitch, and then you hit the button and the foot switch, and it goes up to that pitch or down in a predetermined time, and then when you release it, it also goes back in a predetermined time, also has momentary. Now the Hammer-On is kind of that, but not. No predetermined times, but you can flippity-flop to other pitches momentarily. And it kind of has a drop built in, but not necessarily in the way that I would prefer. I would see the drop function as the primary function that it should have, and it can do that, but not as easily and simply, those words mean the same, as the drop can. So the Ricochet still has a reason to exist, a raison d'être in French. The drop is still simpler and more straightforward. So what does the Hammer-On have to offer? This will be a weird video because I will not be able to fully show you all the functions correctly of the Hammer-On because we have to film it on the table. That's where the cameras are. But since these switches are primarily momentary, they would have to be under my foot for me to play, and it's gonna be a weird video. So, before we get to the weird video, unboxing. That told you absolutely, what is with my words today? Absolutely nothing. Let's do some product shots and that tells you a little bit more. Okay, now we get to the most relevant thing of this video, the thing that you usually skip, which is the produced track. So here's a full song called Hammer-On, where we sing about what the Hammer-On does, that has rhythm guitars 10 semitones lower. That's a full minor seventh below actual tuning. The actual tuning is a D, and we're going to an E below, meaning that would be the dropped 8-string E. If you have an 8-string guitar, F sharp is the lowest note, and you're doing a drop on that, that's as low as that is in this case. It can go lower, but that's what we're playing, and I'm playing it with this 6-string guitar. Also, anything, it's that kind of day. Anything synthy that's on top is actually just held notes, blibbity blooped, with sequences from the hammer on and then some delay behind it. I'm very happy with that track. There's also solo, where whatever I play is pitched up a whole octave. Kind of sounds fluty in a way. I like it. So here's Hammer On. Okay, after all these shenanigans, here's the pedal. It does not have a tap tempo, except when you're tapping this. A little bit annoying, but okay. It does not have MIDI, so getting it in perfect sync with what you're doing can be difficult. They might want to release a more pro version that has a tiny little MIDI input for clock at least. It doesn't have presets, which means whatever you set up is set up. If you need something else, well, you're gonna have to bend down during a gig. Not great. As a studio tool, not a problem. For a gig, okay? There are 2 pitches, as you can see, pitch 1, pitch 2. Pitch 1 gives you the standard hammer-on, which is only momentary. And again, something I'm gonna bitch about, why is it only momentary? Why can I not double-click it or hold some button and make that a latching thing? So when by the way, both of them together bring it in true bypass. So now it's completely off. And now it will be on. So I'm gonna hold this in and it's gonna go up a 5th. But there is no latching. So it is purely a throw in some pitch kind of an idea. Wait, it can do the drop with latching, but it's a little bit more complicated. So it'll do this in its simplest form. There are more modes which are assigned to pitch number 2, which in hammer-on mode is doing the same thing as pitch 1, but as you can see, a different pitch. So you have 2 different options. So I'm gonna hit this on an E. Let's do D because I'm in drop D. Really cool. That's what you would do with the whammy. Play, 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 and then go whee! But it does the whoop. Here it just goes directly. Like. Straightforward and simple. Pitch 1 will always do that hammer on to the setup pitch. Unless you are capoing it, doing the drop function, then it'll do it relatively to that. Makes sense, right? You can also click and dry, and now it's doing it as a harmony. So you could do a 12th string, but you're gonna have to be on the frickin' pedal in hammer-on mode. There's no latching. Have I mentioned that? It's bugging me. And also no mix. It's always fully there. It's not meant for that. It's meant for... And it's doing this pretty damn well. So, that's pretty much that mode. Both pitches in hammer-on. Should we check out a couple of pitches? I don't know. How do you change pitch? So, gonna have to hold this in, because again, no latching. And then dial it in, and then that's it. Can't do that quickly with your foot. If you can, show me that video. What if you wanted to do that, but more easily? Well, for that, we're going to go to pitch 2, the second mode, which is red. Impossible. Impossible, you say. No, it's not. So here, I'm going to hit it, and it's going to alternate between 2, 6 and 4. So why not? So improvising with that is not going to happen. You're going to have to actually write a part and then step on it in rhythm during your gig or whatever. But really cool possibilities. However, that would be in that mode, that preset, right? So if we go back to hammer-on, we can see we're on 1 octave down. This would be, so minor second, second, third, major third. So that's how that works, right? So this would be a minor second, I hope. That's Jaws. Wow! Film scoring jokes. Hey Mark, have you seen that? Oh, by the way, I gotta say this for legal reasons. So, Mark Mancina, great writer, is working on some Moana thing right now. I invited him to Gear Street and he said he might not be able to come. So I said, why? Well, he's got to still write the score for that movie. And then I said, very easy. Every time there's waves, use harps. Every time there's a shark, do... And the movie's done. So now, once you see that movie, if you go to the movie theater, and you have harps when there's waves, or that when the shark's coming, my idea, I'm owed some money, Disney. Just saying. Harps, my idea. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so that's how it works with the pitches. All of them are there, all 12. Minor 6, 6, minor 7, 7, octave. Which is a bit weird because down here, that's a major 7. That's a bit weird. So just 7th going up means it's a minor 7. Just 7 going down means no. Wait, did I do this correct? Wait. That's a bit weird. So look at this. So this is a major 7. That's a minor 7. Right? So going down, this is a minor 7. That's a major 7. Down. It's a bit weird because it's a different representation. I get it, so it's not a problem, but it's a bit weird to have different standards for up or down. So down, you can go a whole octave down. But with the uppity downy, it's a different preset. We're going to do third up. Leslie's trying to confuse me. It's all good. All good. I can do it. Up and down and fourth down. Okay. Probably single note. Obviously, that's now a major third. You wouldn't be able to use that for minor stuff. It's not intelligent. Some might argue I am not. Look, I'm not knocking it, just saying. So, cool impossible mode, and you always have that happening if you want it. Pitch 1 is always the hammer on. Could also be used for a nice harmonic, yeah. As if you're doing... You can use it for that. But of course, for that, what do they have? They have the freak out. They got you covered when it comes to pitch. In that mode, again, you could also have the dry in it. And then your dry is in there. Or you could trill it, which is right now rather fast. How do we change that? Well, we're holding it in, and then you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can actually change that with the dial. It's not the best way to do it, right? What if you want to tap it? Well, then you tap it. And now you can see it's taking my speed. You hit pitch 2 and everything flashes and it's saved. Is it? Is it doing 16th automatically? So I'd have to go really, really, really fast? Okay. Really cool, but obviously no subdivisions, there's no triplets and all that stuff. I mean, I'm wanting the pro version of that. You can already tell, you know, I would want different kind of rhythmic groupings or I mean, there's so much potential in this, but it's fun nonetheless. So obviously this would be a stupid thing to do. Gonna turn trill off. Gonna hold this and let's do octave jumps, right? And then octave up. This is compatible with many things. Really cool stuff. However, again, you're going to see, well, that's how it's set up now. That'll be how it's set up during the gig. And what about the speed? Well, you don't have a foot tap, so you'd have to go down. And I think it's more, for that kind of stuff, a studio tool. For the drop stuff, live tool. Okay? So you can do that with the Impossible and jump around like crazy. And always go, I have the trill on. Well, if the trill is on, it's also trilling the hammer on. So, can't do the standard hammer on while the trill is on. So, we've got 3 different sequences, a 2, a 3, and a 5 sequence. Illustrated by blue, teal, and green. But none of the LEDs, by the way, is doing orange, so why do we have blue and teal? Can you tell the difference? Green, okay. Clearly purple, way cool. Red, I get it. Blue, teal, green. Subtle difference, but okay. I mean, there are other colors. So, sequence of 2. Cool. And you can predetermine that. But you can see it's not going back to dry. On the Impossible, it's dry pitch 1, dry pitch 2. Of course, they could both be up or down. Anything's possible. Here, it's actually just cycling through them. What if I'm trilling it? So that's what I did during the song, but obviously you could see the preset earlier much faster. Why is it now? Wait. Safe. So what I just did, I changed it from looping to one shot. So. The other option is re-trigger. And the option that I want is looping. So the way you do it is you hold mode. And then these 3 will tell you one shot, re-trigger, and loop. Save. And now. So we want to go and get that a little bit faster. Wait, gotta turn that off. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Save. And for ambient stuff, or I mean for that Genty song that we did, really, really cool stuff. I was close enough with the tempo so that it worked. MIDI clock would be nice. right? And you can, of course, have the dry in there. Cool shit. So we're going to stop that and going to pick. So how do I now pick different pitches? I don't know how to do it. Because it is, turn the trill off. That's how. Here we go. So going to do this. Going to do a third. Maybe, yeah, let's do major third, which is that, yeah. And fifth here. And now we have arpeggios. What Odi major? Teal. Now we have, you guessed it, more. So let's do one. We want a 4. We want an octave lower 4th. That's a good idea. Trill. Obviously, not every note in the key is compatible with the 4th and even the lower 4th, which would be a 5th, and so on. So you have to use your noggin a bit or just trial and error. Next one is even more of a sequence. We got a 4, octave, 5th, lower octave. I like it. It's compatible with many things. Turn that on. Why is one longer? I picked 2 octaves, octave, octave, and that way I added a rhythm to my 5 notes. Doable. Depends on the situation. Live, difficult rhythmically and all that. Studio, still no MIDI clock, but doable. But you could see within the track that I did very useful. Now we got what we actually wanted. We paused it. We're going to take the trill off. We're going to take the dry off. We're going to go to 2. And now we're going to see we got a 3rd. We don't want that. We just want a lower 4th. And then we want, and this is the only issue really I have. I mean, in addition to the other issues I have, this is a really cool pedal, don't get me wrong, okay? It's just so cool that I kind of wanted to have a couple more things. They need to add a price tag of $99 more and give us more shit. Presets, MIDI in, stuff like this. A latching function for everything. So if we are in sequence mode, pitch 2 can now cycle through different capo settings. What? Capo settings. So dry, of course. I mean, you could technically, let me try that. Let's see, fourth. Okay, you can switch it on and off. So off would be hitting both at the same time. Rather far apart, but doable with a big shoe. And then on would be only pitch 2. Okay, now I figured out how to just turn it on and off. It's not that obvious. Read the manual. It's a long one, she said, but read it. But then you have a second capo, and now we're down to the minor 7th that I played on the track earlier. So playing that Killer Cali module's got gain, but holy crap. Playing even power chords down there, it's just gonna lead to low interval limit problems. Here, starting at the C, it's better. So you need single notes down there. Can't go to the 2 octaves. Very noisy. You can only do that on hammer-on mode. So there you go. That's all the stuff that the hammer-on can do for you. It can do the drop. Got to figure out how to turn it on and off, which I didn't. It can do the fun sequences, the flippy floppies in betweens, and harmonies, and it's just a cool, creative tool. And I rhymed again. If you're just needing detune, get the drop. If you're needing the whammy, get the ricochet. If you want to have the feedback stuff, get the freak out. They're all very useful pedals to get these effects without changing guitars, detuning, getting close to your cap, which you can't do anymore if you're using Modelers Live. So there's real reasons to get this Digitech stuff. The hammer-on is special. It can do the drop stuff. It can do harmony. It can do the sequence, which, if used correctly, is way cool. That's it from me. I'll put links below. Please use them. Thank you to Digitech and Cortec for working with me. Subscribe to the channel, please. It really, really, really helps. And animals at the end.